All right, guys, Orforglipron versus Retatrutide. What do you think? Which one's going to outperform the other one? One is oral, one's a weekly injection, but I think we're going to have some data and we'll know more in the future because both of these are, they're still being observed and researched. But this could be with Orforglipron, this could be the first time in history where you can take a once daily pill with no food restrictions, no fasting, no injection, and get results that rival or match the best injectable GLP medications available. At the same time, there's an investigational triple agonist on the horizon, Retatrutide, that may actually outperform this. And so for those of you who have gone deep into the peptide world and you have an opinion on Orforglipron versus Retatrutide, I'd love to hear what your thoughts are, because there are a certain subset of the population who can't get over that idea of injections, and especially when they've got some metabolic disease and it's really limiting their health span and their lifespan, and they're looking for some momentum. Orforglipron could be something dramatic, or maybe we just take them through a psychedelic journey so that they can get over the fear of injections. But if you're somebody who does have a literal fear of injections, love to hear what it's like and that stress that comes with it. I'm Regan Archibald, founder of Ageless Future. I make these videos because I'm fascinated with peptides, and I think they are the future of medicine. They give us the leverage so that our cells can communicate very clearly. And I think one of the big impediments for the aging process right now, and for you to have health optimization, is this metabolic syndrome. And so for those of you who take your biology seriously, let's talk about Orforglipron, which was FDA approved April 1st, 2026. Not an April Fool's joke, but it was approved under the brand name Foundayo for adults with obesity, overweight with a weight-related medical problem. That approval happened on the FDA's National Priority Voucher Program. That was the fastest approval of a new molecule entity since 2002. And this one, they have this snack profile in this enzyme that makes it orally available. And it's really exciting because there's much more of these enzymes coming out where we'll have more, hopefully more of these peptides that'll be available orally. But personally, I don't really mind the injection, but I have a lot of clients who do. So this is really exciting because Orforglipron, if you think about this announcement, the FDA approval, Eli Lilly, they submitted this for type 2 diabetes, and they submitted it globally for more than 40 countries. And so Orforglipron, what it does different, it's a non-peptide, it's a small molecule GLP-1 receptor agonist. Every other medication, semaglutide, tirzepatide, dulaglutide, is a peptide. Retatrutide, that's a peptide. Peptides are molecules with amino acid backbones. So there are these short chains of amino acids. They degrade in the digestive system, which is where, like oral semaglutide, many of you may have heard of Ribellus, that requires a specific absorption enhancer called a SNAC. That must be taken fasting with no more than 4 ounces of water. Orforglipron is different. It has no peptide backbone. It's a small molecule, which means it's absorbed orally with approximately 30 to 40% bioavailability. And that's pretty exciting because semaglutide had about a 0.4 to 1% of bioavailability orally. So, if you look at the half-life, this once daily dosing, its peak plasma concentration hits around 2 to 4 hours, and food intake has minimal impact on absorption, so you don't have to have this only 4 ounces of water. And it does activate this GLP-1 receptor exactly the same glucose-dependent manner as injectable GLP-1 agonists. So it enhances this first phase of insulin secretion. It suppresses and slows down your gastric emptying. So make sure you're doing a detoxification. You have good fiber in your diet. You're working with a team of professionals when you're using GLP-1s. And then the other thing it does is it works on signaling satiety to the brain. Now, one of the big side effects that we're seeing with GLP-1s outside of the nausea and the digestive issues is that if you turn off that satiety signal too hard, if you're using GLP-1s at a higher dose, you can end up with what's called anhedonia. And that's where you just feel kind of this, almost like it's not depression, but it's a low grade where you just don't have any emotions. You don't have much motivation. Life is not as enjoyable. So be aware of that. If that's you, make sure you reach out to your doctor about this, reach out to our team at Ageless Future, get some help if you are experiencing that side effect. So let's talk about what's better, retatrutide or Orforglipron, based on what we're seeing. Here's a head-to-head trial where this was published in 2026 called the ACHIEVE-3. And it was published in The Lancet on February 26th. You won oral receptor agonist therapies in type 2 diabetes. They had 1,698 participants, followed them for 52 weeks, Orforglipron versus oral semaglutide. And Eli Lilly, when they announced their results, the group with taking Orforglipron, 36 milligrams, their hemoglobin A1C reduced by 2.2%. So that roughly gave these patients 10 years of health span and lifespan versus 1.4% with oral semaglutide, which there were 14 milligrams of the semaglutide versus Orforglipron. With weight loss, the Orforglipron at 36 milligrams, they lost 9.2% of their body weight, roughly 20 pounds versus 5.3% in the semaglutide trial, or 11 pounds. Roughly a 73.6% greater relative weight loss with Orforglipron versus the semaglutide. ACHIEVE-4, this was another study. They had over 2,700 participants who had cardiovascular risk. They showed a 16% lower risk of the 4-point MACE, the cardiovascular death, heart attack, stroke, hospitalization, chest pain assessment, and a 50% lower all-cause death versus the insulin group. And so when they looked at this meta-analysis, they found that there's a reduction in LDL cholesterol up to 13.3%. Triglycerides came down by 10.9%. The VDL cholesterol, 10.8%, and the high sensitivity C-reactive protein, that came down 26 to 42% in this analysis. So what about retatrutide? I mean, that's pretty impressive on Orforglipron, so big win there. There's still some side effects that we're trying to assess on the Orforglipron, but right now it looks pretty solid. So retatrutide, still in the investigational cycles. Very exciting studies that are coming out on this all the time. Phase 3 Transcend, the type 2 diabetes. In 2026, Eli Lilly showed there is hemoglobin A1C reduction of 1.7 to 2.0, weight loss 11.5 to 16.8 versus 0.8 in the placebo. The 12 milligram arm of the retatrutide lost an average of 36.6 pounds in 40 weeks. And then, of course, there's the TRIUMPH-4 study, which is with osteoarthritic knees and obesity. Those participants lost, on average, 71 pounds in 48 weeks. So if you think about like the weight loss signal at 40 weeks, the retatrutide is outpacing Orforglipron's phase 2 obesity data. It shows 24% of weight loss at 48 weeks with retatrutide versus 9.2% at 52 weeks with Orforglipron. So if your overall goal is I don't want to do an injection, and semaglutide, the oral Ribellus, didn't seem to help. Well, Orforglipron does seem to have some more robust data, but retatrutide does still seem to be taking you across the finish line where you can get that body composition optimization, fixing this reparative system in your liver, because the fibrotic liver studies on retatrutide is looking very promising. Both retatrutide, there are significant side effects that people are reporting, so make sure you don't just go jump on these. Do yourself a favor and make sure that you're working with a team of professionals. So get the right testing done at the right time, put in the right lifestyle. That's really the goal. The goal is not for you to be on Orforglipron or retatrutide for the rest of your life. It's just, let's get your health optimized so you can get off these things and get on with your life. So I'm Regan Archibald. Really appreciate you being on the channel. If you want to go deeper, go to agelessfuture.com. My team will help you get your blood labs ran and then put together an optimization program for you that's specific, personalized, and will give you the results that you probably have been looking for a long time. I'll see you in the next video.